Georgian women turn to online businesses amid educational restrictions. U.S. Congressman alleges targeted killings of former Afghan forces. Hello, my name is Nadia Mohajerzad from Fast Times News Network. Today is 1 February 2024. In northern Georgian province, several women and girls barred from schools and universities have started online businesses as a copying mechanism. They are selling health and cosmetic products imported from Iran. Ferishta Amini, a 24-year-old former student and employee at a foreign institution in Georgia, has been running her online business for 6 months. The Taliban's restriction on work and education left her with no choice but to stay at home. Since the schools and universities have been closed, we have been depressed and suffering from unemployment, Amini said. We wanted to start online business. However, these entrepreneurs face challenges including a limited market for their products. The Taliban closed the schools and universities, and as the economy worsens, our sales have decreased, said Raqiba, another online business owner. Raihana, who also runs a small online business, expressed a collective desire for educational access. Our request to government is to reopen schools and universities. We have been behind in our lessons for about 2 years and want to return to our classes, she said. Following the Taliban's imposition of educational and employment restrictions on women, many in Georgia have resorted to handicrafts, working in cotton fields, and online businesses as alternative source of income and occupations. Brian Mast, a member of the U.S. House, stated Wednesday that former Afghan security forces are systematically being killed in Afghanistan, contradicting claims by the Biden administration and the Taliban. Mast criticized the Biden administration for denying these targeted killings, which include former U.S. government allies. He refuted the Taliban's denial of educational reports about the killing and torture of former security forces, citing evidence from international organizations of deliberate killings. During a Foreign Affairs hearing in September, Under Secretary of State for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland claimed not to have seen a consistent pattern of Taliban murders of Afghans who aided U.S. efforts. That's a lie that to this moment is resulting in people fearing for their life, Mast said. He cited several instances of former Afghan forces being killed, despite the Taliban's amnesty pledge. These are the facts. Banu Nigar, an Afghan police officer, was shot dead in front of her family while 8 months pregnant. Muhammad Hashim, an Afghan police chief who assisted the U.S., was tortured and hanged. Hajiya Qazai, a security official, was killed despite surrendering for the Taliban's amnesty. Allah Halimi, a military officer, was arrested and later found decapitated, Mast detailed. A new cycle may move on, but we can't turn the page because this chapter is still being written, he added. The House Foreign Affairs Committee met to discuss Taliban reprisals against former Afghan military associates of the U.S. with bipartisan attendance and support from veterans and an Afghan journalist. Mast emphasized U.S. investigations into these reprisals. Despite the Taliban's amnesty declaration in 2021, over 200 former Afghan soldiers and officials have been killed extrajudicially. The United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan reported 800 serious human rights violations since the Taliban takeover, including arrests, detentions, torture, and disappearances. Due to security concerns, potential Taliban reprisals, and economic challenges, numerous former Afghan security staff have fled to neighboring countries. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for the shutdown of the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency UNRWA on Wednesday. This demand coincides with the increased Israel airstrike in Gaza as diplomatic efforts continue for a ceasefire and the release of hostages in the enclave. Israel has linked some UNRWA staff to the October 7 Hamas assault in southern Israel, which sparked the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Major donors, including the United States, have suspended funding pending an investigation. However, aid agencies warn that ending UNRWA operations could severely disrupt humanitarian in Gaza. The Palestinians have countered Israel's claims, accusing them of misrepresenting UNRWA's